Chapter 7. Prophecy of Resurrection. God never performs His great works without ample preparation. The resurrection was planned and told long before it happened. Paul and Christ were raised from the dead according to the Scripture. Let us look at Acts chapter 2, verses 22 to 31. The miracles of Jesus were designed to prove He was the Messiah. Peter is a witness to this fact. The works of Christ had not been done in secret. Men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested by God to you by miracles, wonders, and signs, which God did through him in your midst, as you yourselves also know. What had happened to Christ was not by chance, but according to God's will, purpose, and plan. God did not produce or reduce hate in those men's hearts. He allowed these things to happen. Him being delivered by the determined counsel and foreknowledge of God, you have taken by lawless hands, have crucified and put to death. Peter makes the declaration that because those men put Jesus to death, they were enemies of God. For the very one they felt was worthy of death, God raised up. Peter says it was not possible for Christ to remain dead, although the Scriptures foretold of death, yet they also tell He would live. The Scriptures also told because of His sinless life, He could give of His life and have power over death. We know the wages of sin is death, so He died for us. Yet for His sinless life He had the power to offer His life up as a sacrifice for the sin of all men, whom God raised up, having loosed the pains of death, because it was not possible that He should not be held by it. Peter shows that the words in Psalm 16 are written about Christ. It is Jesus who would rejoice and rest in hope. Jesus says, "Into thy hands I commit my spirit." Jesus says, "You will not leave my soul in hell." His spirit went to hell, and His body placed in a tomb. Only 3 days after His crucifixion, His soul returned to His body, and He arose. Verse 28 tells us Jesus will enjoy the presence of His Father. "You will make known to me the ways of life. You will make me full of joy in your presence." And I too love my Dad. I love to be in His presence. We too shall be like Him in that last day. Peter refers to David about being dead and gone. But being a prophet, David was able to tell about things to come. David was able to foretell about Jesus and prophecy about His resurrection. Peter goes on to say, "Men and brethren, let me speak freely to you of the patriarch David, and he is both dead and buried, and his tomb is with us to this day. Therefore being a prophet, and knowing that God had sworn with an oath to him, that of the fruit of his body according to the flesh, he would rise up the Christ to sit on his throne. He, foreseeing this, spoke concerning the resurrection of the Christ, and his soul was not left in Hades, nor did his flesh see corruption. This Jesus God has raised up, of which we are all witness. 500 people saw Jesus at one time, and there is power in the resurrection. Man in sinfulness is helpless. We need a power greater than ourselves. Paul tells us Jesus has exceeded greatness in His power, and that power is available to us through Him. May we not only believe the resurrection, but also know its power both now and forever.